joining us. Today we're talking about the age of prevention. We're looking at structured biological realignment in this year of 2026 and why this is so important. Focusing on prevention rather than symptom management. And why is health risk benchmarking so important? I'll be dealing with the way we assess and do the benchmarking with the Dr. Jane Mackenzie HIELO quantum well-being framework, and also live blood analysis, and then looking at chronic diseases and the oxygen intravenous chronic disease clinic that I have. This is becoming more and more important to focus on prevention. Every day I see more and more people coming in with really chronic diseases. Many people have been everywhere and it's a kind of a last resort. Some people, though, do get referred and it's an immediate referral, so they haven't been everywhere. And those are, in a sense, lucky ones because we can work quickly and get a result for them. The longer-term chronic clients are generally, their battery's flat. And they are more weak because they're tired, emotionally they're tired, and it takes a little bit longer for the healing to kick in, but not very long. I'm just really saying. So it's so important to benchmark your health and know what your risk factors are, determine the root causes, and then a recommended way forward. And that is our restore, reset, rejuvenate, and rejoice HIELO process. And today I'm going to be reintroducing to those that have been here before and know me and clients, and to the new people, the reset kit and one of our smoothies with over 30 nutrients as a great start. And moving more towards you implementing your own self-transformation, your own reset. And at the end of the day, you heal you. I will provide support, education, and know-how and recommendations and guide you along the way as we raise your health and detoxify and nourish the body. And then you will then do the work. And it's really rewarding to know that you have done your work at the end of the day. Our oxygen clinic is remarkable. And it also deals with chronic disease and degeneration. And it's a drip clinic mainly, and it's advanced biological support, not an alternative therapy. So biological prevention is the new luxury. Just imagine. And I'm going to introduce that to you today. And I'm going to bring in alignment, which is essential for longevity. And, the structured prevention with measured results before and afterwards. And I don't believe there's any other way actually to do this. So I'm going to be bringing in the slides and sharing with you what I have today from the Bryanston HIELO Health Healing Sanctuary in Johannesburg, South Africa. And it's a global virtual center. And the reason for that is that we have the NQB device, which reaches everywhere. The products are delivered everywhere, and the world's getting smaller and smaller, as you all know. So let me just bring the slide presentation in for you. And there's our first slide, our introduction: why waiting until it's too late is no longer intelligent. The age of prevention. And let's just move to the next slide for you. There we go, the global health crisis. So in addition to what the introduction that I've just given you, we're really focusing on this age of prevention and biological intelligence. And you really can't beat that. And most importantly, holism. Also, we need to look at physical purification and emotional. Then we're really looking holistically, included in that neurological and spiritual as well. So let's explore here why waiting too long is becoming outdated and how modern prevention systems allow us to understand health risks much easier. In this slide, the global health crisis, we just see hospitals overloaded, people not being realigned, running out of medical aid, and people are just really not getting to the root cause of things. These kind of disorders I'm speaking about could be metabolic disorders, weight, blood sugar, blood pressure, autoimmune conditions, pain, inflammation, neurological fatigue, adrenal fatigue, mental factors, and stress-related diseases, illnesses. I think stress is probably the number one common factor with everybody. It just depends how stress manifests within us, and it depends on the underlying emotional cause and the vulnerable organs in our body. So the focus on lifestyle and biological driven approach, not so much management of systems, is becoming increasingly more sustainable. I'm sure you all agree with me. And those people that have gone through the system know all about the global health crisis. So the hidden timeline of disease, and this is very interesting. And, you often want to say to the client, but why did you wait so long? What took you so long to get here? And I think we're all guilty of this. We all tend to downplay symptoms, and then they just knock louder and louder and louder. And eventually we're forced to listen because we, worst case scenario, hospitalized, got one of these really chronic diseases. So one of the most important things people discover when studying prevention is that disease rarely appears suddenly. Most people know. They know that their tummy hasn't been working properly for a long time. They know that there's been blood in the feces. They know this. They know their energy is low. They know they're not digesting their food, for example. They know they're overweight. Most conditions occur really slowly. The body shows our subtle signals way before the symptoms appear. So if we can identify these signals early, we can support the body before major illnesses develop. And that's really the secret. We're too busy rushing around, trying to cover our costs, trying to meet demands, trying to, work harder, faster. It ends up being later, sitting too long. And it's really a question of our lifestyle, our stress, poor nutrition, eating out all the time, ordering takeaways, and then failure to detox and failure of our body's ability to detox. So we're sitting in a situation where we can control this. And a lot of the time there's microbial imbalances, oxygen deficiencies, and just a chronic stress biology. So we're looking here now at the age of prevention and a new model. And I'm very, very humbled and grateful to be able to present to you my framework, which is focusing holistically exactly on this, prevention medicine. And not only physically, also neurologically, emotionally, and spiritually. Very, very important. Instead of asking, how do we treat disease? We should rather be asking, how do we maintain biological balance? It's all about homeostasis, the biology. Even when we extend to emotional purification, where we're talking about epigenetics and genetics. So these are all absolutely crucial to our path forward, where we're going. We need to be asking, absolutely the right questions all the time. And we need to sit silently and listen to our inner voice and answer those questions. Are we being real to ourselves? Are we being authentic? Are we putting self-love first? Or are we betraying ourselves? Are we rejecting ourselves? And then we play it out and we blame other people. So it does require a big shift in thinking. In fact, a turning point. I've been talking about a paradigm shift since I can remember, 2012. And sitting in the pharmacy class way back when, I was already asking for a paradigm shift. I knew that the paradigm that I was studying was not the one that was going to realign people, myself and people. So I did, ask for another way. And this brought about my holistic quantum well-being framework, which I'll speak to in a moment. So it really does relate to not waiting for the illness to get worse and worse and present, more specifically. We want to maintain our health proactively. And this is really my message today. You're in control. And don't wait for it to get to the situation where it's too late, because it just takes so much extra effort to get that wheel turning again. We do it. Obviously, we do it. But, I want to see less of you people, not more. And we can do it. And with the quantum assessments and the consultations I do, we get to the root cause and we get to a path for you to, reverse what's happened and also sustainably work towards achieving your health goals. This is incredibly important. And each person is unique. Each person is different. And yes, there's so many options out there, and there's so much that you can Dr. Google and so many products to try, but we're not working in that realm. We're working in a synergistic way where products work together and services work together rather than where's that one bottle that's going to help me sleep. That's very outdated. That's very yesterday. That's old paradigm. So let's understand our biology earlier and support the body before it becomes serious. And I'm sure you will agree with that. And it's actually a very simple way to look at things. So holistic quantum well-being, that would really be, my tagline, if you like. Health is more than the absence of disease, and that's true. Many people are ill, but they're vertically ill. They're walking, but they're on 5 medications, painkillers included. That's not well at all. And don't wait for yourself to have to lie down, is what I'm saying. So true well-being involves coherence across body, mind, emotions, and lifestyle. So important. And we need to really, really focus on this to move forward in life and to follow our path. And in many instances, it's about understanding who we are. I mean, I had a client today, 77 years old, and absolute skin rash from head to toe. And it's enough now, Jane. It needs to go now, Jane. I've had enough. I've tried this. I've tried that. I've tried everything in the world. And while he's doing this, he's itching everywhere. And then when I started asking him, how he feels, he told me he feels trapped. He feels despair. And then when I started saying to him, when did you feel like this before? And he started talking about childhood. And the emotion there was feeling extremely sad and with the hopeless despair and sadness. And then, when we dealt with the poverty and scarcity, it was quite incredible because I did one of my EMDR processes on him and my reconnective healing. And by the end of the EMDR and me questioning him, saying to him, who are you? He said, I'm discovering all of that. And he turned over and went to sleep. And this man hasn't been sleeping properly for I don't know how long. He said, I'm a consciousness that came from somewhere and is going somewhere. That's what he got to. And as I say, he turned over and slept. And I just thought that, wow. And this is, by the way, while he's at the chronic disease degenerative clinic on the oxygen drip. So everything's happening, and potentiating everything else. And he slept and slept and slept and woke up and actually looked like a different person. So, wow, we're making major inroads to people here just by getting to root causes and, moving towards that holistic ancestral orientation where we're going to be getting to the root cause of the emotion and clearing it. So, very, very exciting work. And I'm saying to you that the holistic quantum well-being is working in the existential field. Health is not just simply avoiding disease. It's about maintaining your balance across the full spectrum of the human system, physical, neurological, emotional, and spiritual. And, I'm going to bring into that stress and lifestyle because we do have to readjust. Those of us that sit for too long, we've got to really, really start shifting that. And I'm going to move now to the HIELO system specifically, where this is basically a wheel. It's an iterative process. The more you do with me, the more you learn to do it yourself. And as I said earlier, it's a compass. Some people come in on the emotional level, some on the neurological level, some on the spiritual level, some on the physical level. It doesn't really matter because we're all integrated. And it's inclusive, which means it's holistic. And the 4 stages include reset, restore, rejuvenate, and rejoice. So let's just stop and have a look at that in a little bit more detail. That's what I would like to do. So this comes out of my framework in my doctorate, and it's extension of that. And we guide people through the stages and tie everything up together for them holistically. And in the reset phase, we're identifying health risks. Most critical, that is your benchmark, that is your starting, that is structured precision, working towards prevention. And we do this with integrity, authenticity. Restoring is addressing the biological health risk gaps. To rejuvenate is where we're going to now start building vitality, life force, and getting the energy flow, the blood circulating, the chi circulating. And then when we're rejoicing is really when we reassess, we monitor progress, evidence-based medicine. You're feeling better, we can measure it, and it's all researched. And the devices that I use are the big NQB quantum device is registered with the FDA. And that's this device here. All right. And this is the device that enables the global practice, the global virtual center. From Bryanston, we can reach anywhere. And then we use the HIELO processed holistic integrated epigenetic life orientation. We use the process and it's iterative, as I said. So very, very interesting. Part of restoring would then be the chronic disease intravenous oxygen clinic, if necessary, the holistic ancestral orientation. I've mentioned other modalities like EMDR, reconnective distance healing. And, when we put that all together, it's just powerful because I can see that person shifted. They know they've shifted. We carry them in, they're walking out. They suddenly sleep that night. Suddenly the pain's gone. The stomach's now working and they're just feeling together. And then we do take them to the point of, self-identity. That's very, very important. And moving now to the specific benchmarking, which I showed you the device in particular, which you've seen now. It's just one of the most powerful tools on the planet. It's like 100 years in the future coming back. Nothing like it, nothing to touch it in existence at the moment. It's highly powered and works with you in the quantum field. And really picks up the body's biological disease patterns early and identifies the risks. And by the way, through bioresonance, heals the body, realigns the body. So you do get a treatment at the same time with the NQB quantum device, and which is wonderful. And then we follow up and integrate with the 365 Healthy by Choice nutrients, which I'll speak to in a moment. So important. And where's one of my fundamental starting points? It's the NQB or my Q450 quantum assessment. And then we also look at live blood. And this is absolutely key, because you need to see what's happening. If I tell you your blood is thick, it's acidic, your body is acidic, you need to see that. And the live blood shows you that exactly. And it's really transforming. I just see people doing this like really seriously. I now get what you're saying. You see the rouleau, you see the red blood cells stuck together, you see your parasites, you see the liver function failing, you see your need for iron, just, putting it simply, see your bones, see your hormonal levels, see your organs out of alignment. So I think that's definitive, because it's experience. You see yourself. It's not abstract. So very, very important. And then it enables us to identify these key health risk patterns immediately. And one of the key things here is the oxygen factor, our normal breathing. So we need to not ever forget about this. We've got 3 minutes to take our next breath. Otherwise, the body doesn't detoxify sufficiently quickly enough. The toxicity would end our life. So yes, we need oxygen, but we need to detox. So this is one of our main modality. I check it all the time. I check myself with the little oximeter. I check it. I just want to say, by the way, I'm on 98% all the time. The NQB quantum device, this one will give us the oxygen level inside the cell, just like that. And I can monitor it, and I can see the client's performance based on that. I can see the adrenal function. I can see the brain amplitude, the brain waves, happiness, harmony, neurotransmitters, hormones. I can see the electron resistance to flow. I can see the toxins causing that, parasites causing that, the hydration inside the cell, the pH, the vitality of the cell. Has it got the right voltage to allow food and oxygen into the cell and waste removal? So you've just got this paradise in front of you, using the quantum medicine vital statistics. And often I'm using the quantum device alongside the IV oxygen maximizer drip, working with emotions, working holistically, and then we potentiate this. So low oxygen, you're going to feel tired. People think you need iron the iron fixes, the iron grabs the oxygen and takes it to the cell, just by the way. But still, you're going to feel tired. There's going to be inflammation, poor cellular function, slow recovery, inability to recover even. So there's one thing that parasites don't like, and that's an alkaline body with a high oxygen level. Let's aim for that. Let's aim for good digestion of food, good absorption of food, food to the cell, oxygen to the cell, binding with highly charged electrons, making your ATP, TTP, GTP, CTP. There are 4 energy molecules, not only ATP. And you know that because of my replica RNA DNA, which offers the body the 5 building block proteins, including those that I've just mentioned. So very, very, very important, oxygen. It is king and queen and everything all together. It's what I say. King, queen, and everything else. Without this, I think people are lost. It's essential for cellular metabolism. It's essential for energy, which I've just said. And once we've got high oxygen levels, we've got many of the biological processes come into alignment, start functioning immediately and efficiently. So things like exercising, essential, brings the oxygen flow, brings the body into alignment. Things like foods like organic sprouts, seeds, nuts, organic fruits, medicinal mushrooms, my mushroom mix, my algae mix, my bee mix. Those are all going to bring oxygen into you. You can eat those and check on your oximeter. In fact, I did that. The one day, a while back, I was just checking and random. I was 96% on the oximeter, and I went and had a meal of sprouts and other raw food, and came back and did a test, went straight back up to 98. So that's how you keep yourself at that level once you've already cleaned and detoxified yourself. And it really is a simple way. So let's have a look and see now how the role of nutrition comes into this and how I integrate my 365 Healthy by Choice signature collection, which has come to me through the work that I do. So the role of nutrient systems. So let's just make that a bit larger here. So we've got the signature collection in front of us, and you can see what I'm looking at here, including the reset kit and the brain fuel. So here we're dealing with how we're going to support the biological balance nutritionally. Nutrients we get from the sun, we get photons, it's the highest form of energy. We get energy from the earth, the negative charges, which come in and heal us, rebalance the positive. We live in an atmosphere that's positive. Parasites are positive. Toxins are positive. So you bring in the negative electrons, that alters the pH, it charges the electrons. That's nutrition. Breathing is nutrition. Water is going to provide a level of nutrition, and the foods I've just spoken to you about. So absolutely critical to bring this biology back into balance. And we need this good nutrient support. So you can choose what you want to eat. You can choose your oxygen levels, basically. And I developed the signature range to support cellular vitality and biological resilience. And they work alongside and integrated into my HIELO framework to restore the system and restore balance. They are all plant-based, food state, nutrient-dense, quantum structured to improve the functionality of the body. And you can go on my website, www.365healthybychoice.com, and you can see the product range. It's extensive. I've really found a solution for most of the detoxification elements of the body, the nourishment elements of the body, the immunity elements, and the genetics. So this is all happening from the HIELO Healing Sanctuary, located here in Bryanston. And we have a store here as well. We are also in some of the stores in Johannesburg, but the online store is the dominant. And this is the reset kit, for example, all in one. And there's science behind this. And those of you who've listened to me every week for the last, I don't know how many, 7 years or something, no, you've learned already. But I do urge you to go to my YouTube channel and like, comment, and subscribe, because you'll hear it first then. I've really explained each of these nutrients in depth. And we have to have the flaxseed oil. We are a biological battery. So we need electrical charge, all right, which we get from the sun and the earth. We get it from our almost gold as well. Transducer, superconductive energy pack, almost gold, silver, copper, nickel, all the platinum, precious metal minerals. We also need an electrical potential from the flaxseed oil. That's that electrical potential around the cell wall that I spoke to you about. That's what it does. Also forms a coating on our membranes to allow food and oxygen through to the blood and into the cells. Amongst other things, the principles of flaxseed oil are crucial. The other oils don't do this. We've got a probiotic there, the microbiome reset, over 80 live strains and substrains. So you can restore your whole microbiome fingerprint, if you like, footprint. And we need those. We're 90% microbial. Imagine. So we need a large amount of colonies of presence of the effective microorganisms. It's not about colony forming units that kept in the cold. This is about live organisms that you don't put in the fridge. They'll die. And they will then morph inside you to recreate your biological footprint, as I say, but they're also going to produce 75% of your immunity in your gut. Crucial. They will also help the white blood cells. They will also go to the site of infection, pain, inflammation. They're going to digest our food. The oil is going to get it absorbed. Made in heaven. We've now got nourishment and oxygen into the cell, going to bind with the charged electrons. And the oxygen and the DMSO are the ones that are going to do the big detoxification and restore the biological balance. So once you've done a structured, precise benchmark, identified your root causes, brought in the recommended path going forward, brought in the nourishment, integrated it all, done your hopefully your holistic ancestral orientation, emotional generational pattern release, you're now moving forward. There's no guesswork anymore. You know it. You're shifting. You're losing weight. You're feeling healthier. You're running 5 kilometers. You never did that before. You didn't have the energy. You're waking up earlier. You're more productive in the day. This needs to happen. And then we round it off with the brain fuel. There's that one and my stress defense shield. They've got over 30 nutrients. It's a cacao base, a hemp seed protein base. And together with that, there's things like 6 medicinal mushrooms, 3 algae, adaptogenic herbs, kelps, passion flower, chamomile, the xenoestrogen inhibitors, etc., warding even off parasites. So this is an absolute bomb. There's 30 nutrients in that, and that works synergistically. So imagine if 1 + 1 is 3 and 3 + 3 is 9. Imagine what 30 + 30 is. And the mathematicians out there can calculate it. So we're really working with bundles here. It's not that one product that's going to heal you. You know, at least take 2. And then introduce the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th. If your liver's out, we're going to bring in a liver cleanse, for example. If you're calcifying, we're going to bring in Decalci-X. If the lymph is blocked, we're going to bring in Lymph Lumina. You know, if the protein is not digesting properly and building up in the body, we're going to bring in the replica RNA DNA with the mRNA to metabolize protein. We're going to bring our stem cells in. So we've got lots of options to choose from the toolkit, but here's a great way to start. Absolutely. And those of you that have worked with me know it works miracles quickly. And just a word on the sanctuary here is where we do all of this. We also do acupuncture. I find it also works in the quantum field in a non-verbal way. So healing is non-verbal. It's also non-local, by the way. So it's working in its existential field. Acupuncture does it perfectly. In fact, the NQB is actually based on electromagnetic acupuncture, which is thousands of years old. We do the emotional recalibration with the holistic ancestral work. We've got infrared sauna, which is great for getting the electrons charged. Those people that haven't had enough time to sit in the sun, of course, you're getting the beneficial infrared rays, natural rays. And that really, really heals. It really clears. It does things like stimulate the mitochondria, collagen formation, etc., skin. And then we've got the IV oxygen therapy drip. So these are all very essential to health and healing and, you know, bringing in a result, because we're working biologically. I don't think there's any other way to do that. And also in a natural environment where the sanctuary is for those people who do come in. You know, the first thing they always say, it's just so peaceful. It's just so peaceful. And don't worry, the virtual global clients come in on the virtual platform, and I think energetically they feel the same. So in terms of preventing, you'll see that prevention allows individuals to identify health risks early, restore biological balance, and maintain vitality long term. The goal is very simple, and I repeat it so many times. We want to think clearly and live productively in all areas of our lives. That's holistic. And we want to use this life to the maximum. We want to follow that path and know that at the end of the day, it was a life well spent, a life well done. And that's what I'm here to do: educate, facilitate, guide, recommend. And that brings me joy. That's how it should be, I think. So the ultimate purpose of prevention medicine is not to simply avoid disease. It's enabling people to maintain vitality, clarity, and resilience throughout life, to see opportunities coming and know about non-reaction, non-judgment. Rather see it for its advantages, the opportunity that it brings you, like the river flowing. It doesn't hit the rock and try to go over it, it'll go around it and keep the flow. And we work without expectations and without a time limit, because minute you've got an expectation, you set up a stress factor for yourself. And we don't know. We let the body do the rest and integrate with mind, emotions, and spirit. So if this really appeals to you, don't delay, because delaying just results in further out of alignment in the body. And further, lady said today, I don't want to allow the stress to damage me even more, for example. And there's an invitation here to explore my HIELO system, book your benchmark assessment, and feel the integration of physical, neurological, emotional, and spiritual, and use the nutrients alongside what you're doing to support the biological process. And you can contact me on that website and on WhatsApp text. And, by all means, don't delay. Let's not wait for that disease to set in. And you know what? The real aspect about being human is it's normal. It's normal to have a risk factor gap, because it's normal to want to raise your awareness and deepen your consciousness and self-discover. It's actually normal. I think in many instances it's probably why we chose to experience this duality and unify it and move forward and live our life that way, rather travel that road than exclusive duality, materialism, win-lose, but rather move towards a win-win situation within ourselves. Self first. So presenting to you my HIELO Holistic Quantum Wellbeing Framework with the view of you understanding the process and repeating it on yourself time and time again and sharing it with others. You will notice you will become able to do that very easily. And I've been doing this now for years. I've just pulled it all together in my doctorate and validated with all the research. I've got, I don't know how many researchers on that doctorate, but clarified things further and further and further. And it doesn't stop there, because I'm evolving, so are you, so is the framework. So amazing. And I just want to say, I hope you've enjoyed everything, and I hope that you're going to take this work further. And I'm always honored to have you. Always have my regulars, new people coming in and out, and time is ticking. It's moving fast. We don't have time to wait. So make every day count, every hour, every minute. And I'm just going to leave it at that. And those of you who want to contact me, don't delay. I'm available. And have a great week. And next week, more on the 2026 Health Revolution. Thanks for joining me.